Welcome back to the Dutch Masters. Quarter-final time here in Holland. 3 matches completed. Raymond van Barneveld, the latest name into the semis, attempting to join the Dutchmen Gary Anderson and Adrian Lewis.
Well, Lewis against Anderson. These two fought out the World Championships there at Christmas. And if two people I had to pick, Wayne, that I'd love to see play against each other, these two. The rhythm, the speed, the high scoring. They've got it all, haven't they?
Well, yeah, I've been looking forward to this one, Rod. I just love the way they both play. I love the way that when there's a 60 in the bed, you're just expecting a 180. And I really do. They don't, not let us down, but I just hope they play to their ability.
Well, I think that answers the question straight away as Anderson piles in a maximum. And the rhythm of both these players, when that first dart goes in, as Lewis, well, I thought he was going to follow him.
Gary, you require 120.
Well, I'm pretty disappointed. It took Gary 2 throws or 3 throws to hit a 180. Incredible. As he was looking for a 25 there to set it up, he's just too good, and it's the bullseye.
And the times you see that, as I say, they fought out of the World Championships. Adrian Lewis, before that first break, hit a 9-dart leg, and what
Gary, you require 8.
What a great tournament that was. As Anderson, if there's anything in Anderson's locker that's a little bit of a problem, it's exactly that. He does, and he talks about missing them as well, Wayne. Which, you know, if I was his coach, I'd say, look, don't even mention it.
Well, what you said there, Rod, was the reason why I think he's not as good on doubles as he's on trebles. He talks about it so much. Now, that's a great dart here. Just always gone on the inside. I thought it'd have come off that. He goes on too much about the negativity of it all.
Well, you can see Lewis thinking, well, if you ain't going to take this, thank you very much. Happy birthday or happy Christmas, as it was a few months back. And you can see Lewis just saying to him, sorry. Would you say sorry? I'd say, thanks very much, old fella.
I actually might have give it the big un, Rod. For one reason, it's the fact that the other guy is going to be kicking himself anyway, in this case Gary Anderson, and he'll be thinking, you're giving it large after doing that. So what you're actually doing, you're making them think, and he's got to be winding himself up.
There's no question, Wayne. I mean, the gamesmanship, you know, it is in this game. There's people slow people down. Phil, if you take out a shot against Phil, he says, well done, mate, just to throw your concentration off a bit. And there's no question in my day, Wayne, I'd have walked back from the board and I'd have said, thanks very much for that. Can't believe you missed them doubles, just to remind you that you've missed them. But we know this bloke can hit a treble 20, that's for sure.
Yeah, he does probably hit more treble 20s and 180s than any other player. But the consistency sometimes just lets him down, and that's the reason why he's not world champion, because all the way through, Rod, at Christmas in the World Championship, 59. He was the best player until he got to the final, where it just eluded him for a couple of sets.
Yep. 100 averages as Lewis fires in a maximum. He 100 averages right the way through for Gary Anderson, and on form it was him that should have won it, but in a 2-horse race anything can happen. So now Lewis 61 got to go the 25 route to give himself 2 darts at double 18 for a 2-0 lead. Oh, just inside that dart. Perfect darts from Lewis. Looking really, really good.
I'm just loving Adrian's rhythm. I really am. I know he got away with the first leg, but that was a bit sort of, how can I put it, so mature, that leg. He just put it to bed and got it done for a 2-0 lead.
We talk about the rhythm of players, and I've been one that really has had a go at Adrian about speeding up with that third dart. The previous matches in this International Masters, the third dart was perfectly thrown. And if you look at it now, it's really on the mark. It isn't rushed. It's there. We see that again. 57. You know, although he didn't hit a treble there, you know, the rhythm, and if you keep that rhythm, you're going to be more consistent.
Yep, couldn't agree more. If you throw the darts right, 96. They will eventually keep going in. And Adrian here puts the first one in the 60. It's a good dart, just didn't go in. Never in doubt.
Well, I just said about the third dart and how good was that third dart. Just putting some pressure on Gary, and you don't see Anderson do this very often.
25.
You know, he's going, yep, we'll have one of them. Every now and again, these brilliant players throw in one of them. So now Lewis needs a treble. Oh, he's going to have to switch now.
97.
Picks it off beautiful. When he's on fire, he's magic, isn't he?
Yeah, the pair of them really are. They're box office, Rod. They just play the game the way I believe it should be played.
Adrian, you require 126.
I think that word is brilliant, the way the game should be played.
86.
And the speed of them makes
Gary,
them
you
look
require
even better.
115.
Well, 115 here for Anderson. I'm going to have to look for that 57 now. No, he hasn't hit that, so Lewis is going to come back.
59.
And this is a commanding lead.
Adrian, you require 40.
Double top.
If he can nail this double 10, he'll be in command of this game within the blink of an eye.
Game shown,
Now that,
third leg.
in my
Adrian
opinion,
Lewis.
is Adrian
Fourth
Lewis
leg,
of
it's
today
Adrian
and not of
Lewis.
last year, Rod.
Game
I
on.
believe he would never have moved over last year to create that space.
No, you're right. He'd have tried to force it through. And again, we've seen there, he's just moved across. He's more of a mature dart player
137.
now. He isn't the young, brash 19, 20-year-old that just used to go up there. You know, we all used to praise him up how brilliant he was. And I think he
59.
thought that he didn't have to concentrate. He just threw the darts, he'd win. Well, he's actually realised that there's other parts of this game you need to have in your locker to become a world champion. And
57.
that's what's exactly happened. And I think this guy will go on in the next 5-6 years and certainly win other majors.
Yep, couldn't agree more. As we see Gary hit another 180. Now what Gary needs to do is not firing on all cylinders, even though he's hit a couple of 180s
140.
early in the game. He's just not putting the big shots together. There's no point in a 180 and then struggling around the board for
Adrian, you
another
require
treble.
167.
Yeah, Lewis got the advantage in this leg. Doesn't need to take this out, but he's going for it. Didn't need to go there. Anderson on a bogey number. Would you have gone for it, Wayne? Mind you, when you're on a rhythm, sometimes you do, but I don't know. Big 18 for me.
Yep, I agree,
29.
but in principle,
Adrian,
I
you
like the way
require
Adrian's
30.
thinking. It was get it done,
Game shot
which
on
he's
the
done
fourth leg.
as well,
Adrian
but get it
Lewis.
done, let him
Fifth
know I'm on
leg, it's
fire,
Gary to
and
throw
he's
first.
4-0 up, and
Game on.
to be honest, we know what Gary can do, but he's got to start doing it.
Well, 4-0 down.
135.
Another thing about these guys' game, that they can come back from 4-0, where other players don't have that
96.
capability to get the deficit back. These two have got it.
Yeah, we mentioned before when the likes of Phil Taylor were 7-2 up on James
93.
Wade, and Raymond van Barneveld was 7-2 up on Roland Shelton. This is one